For many, 2020 proved to be one of the most challenging years that anyone has had to face. On January 28, 2020, as the crowd of more than 500 people left the third annual Big Daddy Tazz and Friends Comedy Night, no one could imagine that in just 5 short weeks, their lives would be completely turned upside down. The global pandemic created fear of the unknown, divided friends and family, and caused great financial and mental health stress. It has now been over 1 year since the Pandolfi Initiative has been able to bring people together to enjoy an evening of laughter to support our mental health. Laughter is medicine. With large events put on hold, I personally wanted to share a special celebration of an ongoing accomplishment I am very proud of. I do so in hopes of inspiring others to follow suit. On Sunday, February 28th, 2021, it will mark the 3 years anniversary of my alcohol sobriety. This is the story of my trials, tribulations, and triumphs with my sobriety. Hey guys, so as we all know, this has been a very challenging year, and we would have actually just completed the 4th annual Big Daddy Tazz and Friends. But seeing as we haven't really been able to do any events this year, we wanted to do something a little bit more inspiring and motivating. So we decided to do a little bit of a video for you guys to share my story about the Pandolfi Initiative and my own mental health journey. With mental health as bad as it is right now, we thought it would be a perfect time to release the video, and we hope you enjoy. My best friend, she passed away of breast cancer. It was October 6th, 2013. The family had received the news that her cancer had spread to the point that she was given less than 2 months to live. Immediately after we heard that news, it was her brother who had actually come to me and he had asked me if I'd be interested in helping the family with a social and to help raise some money for the family. And we got together 4 or 5 good friends that we thought we could make a difference and planned a big social. I still remember we sold the social out in 24 hours. It went off without a hitch, and unfortunately, she passed away 6 days before the social was set to go. And to make matters even worse, 4 days after she passed away, tragically, her brother, who was also helping us plan the social, he tragically passed away as well. And it went from bad to absolutely ugly and real quick. We went ahead with the social because the simple way was we wanted to make sure that we did her proud and to bring some people together and help others and help the family, and really make a difference. But like I said, it was a living nightmare, to say the least. A lot of us, we were all hurt and we all go through our own struggles. And for me, I took that very, very, very hard, and it worse than 2020. It was the worst year of my life. You don't realize, they say, how fast life can change for you in the blink of an eye, and this proved it beyond belief for me. And my depression was very, very clear, is the sense that I denied, where I just straight up denied that I was depressed. I hid it. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want people to know that I was depressed, mostly because it was the shame, the pride that you have, and the stigma is still bad right now, but never mind back then. Even when you're depressed, you shut down, you turn everybody off in life. You don't want to communicate with people. When you're depressed, you're angry at everybody. And I lost my best friend, and I thought that the world screwed me. A bad way to look at it, but that's how depression took over for me. I never wanted to take my own life, but would be more than happy if somebody would have done it for me, because I just was so done. You get that feeling in your life where you're just so tired of feeling sad every single day, and that's what I was. There was one night where my father had called me and I didn't answer the phone, and it was not even 2 minutes later, because they happened to live near me, and he's banging on that door and frantically, and I opened that door and his face was white as a ghost, and he thought the worst, because they knew that I was going through and how depressed I was, and that I was trying to keep it bottled up. But you think that nobody notices, and you think you're keeping it to yourself and you're hiding it, but I certainly wasn't, and I was pretty obviously hurting, and I still remember that day when my dad banged on that door frantically, because I hadn't answered the phone, because that's what happens, right? I was a different person, I guess you could say. And again, I go back, I was never into drugs, but I was, again, drinking more and privately. I would go home and be by myself and have some drinks and keep to myself. My drinking slowly got worse. And when I say worse, I mean it got more consistent. So, you become more dependent on it. The odd drink there, on a Saturday becomes more of a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing, 7 days a week. So my drinking was a very, very straightforward pattern. I can tell you right forward, it was every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was straight to the vendor, and I was going to have anywhere from 4 to 6 drinks each night. When you get to Thursday, my mindset was always, I can have a little bit more, because tomorrow's Friday and I'm pumped. It's the weekend. So I'm going to have anywhere from 10 to 12 drinks because it's Friday. And then you get up on Saturday and you're even more excited to have those drinks because it's the weekend and you owe it to yourself to have those extra few drinks. So, I would easily go anywhere from 12 to 15 drinks on a Saturday, every Saturday. And then on Sunday, my mindset was always, well, it's the last day of the weekend and I got a big week ahead, so I'm going to have a couple more drinks just because I probably won't have any on Monday. You always fool yourself to tell yourself, this is it, I'm not going to have any more on the week. But every time it was just a vicious cycle where you just keep going back to it. And I did this consistently, very consistently over 3 years. So you do the math, and I was averaging $100 a week, every week. It's $15,000 I spent on alcohol over 3 years, and it was easily 40 drinks a week. So when you do the math even deeper on that, it was 48% of my total income that I made went directly to supporting my alcohol problem. So you can think it's not a problem, and you can think it's not an addiction problem, and you can think it is a big deal when it starts to consume your life. And I mean, almost half your income is going to supporting, in hindsight, a depressant and making your life that much harder. I always had to have alcohol, and I missed out on a lot of things, going to family functions. And there was countless times where I simply flat out refused to work past 10 o'clock. And the only reason why I did not want to work past 10 o'clock was because you're cutting into my drinking time now. I had enough. That was it. Drinking was 100% ruining my life, and from my anxiety to my depression to everything. It was making me a very angry person. It was ruining my relationships. I remember going into work in the mornings after a night of having those casual drinks and smelling like booze, and whether I was sweating it off or breathing it off. And you start to feel like a damn pretty big hypocrite when you're going in the community and you're advocating for people for change and for looking out for yourself and all those things. And addictions is mental health, and I've always been a huge advocate for mental health. And when I'm coming into work, I guess you could say, and having booze coming off my body because I've been up all night doing it, and that's not good, and I recognize that. It was just a very, very ugly look. And on February 28th, 2018, I decided I didn't want to have that look anymore. And for the better of my overall health, my mental health, I quit cold turkey. And 3 years later, here we are. I put my life around alcohol all the time. I wouldn't take extra work that was given because, I'm drinking tonight. I wouldn't go to family functions because I'm drinking tonight. It starts to be taking over your life. And when you become sober, it really does help you stay on that course. And I've had a lot of people ask me before, how did you remain sober? And, the biggest thing was just I surrounded myself with people that would help me with that. My family respected the fact that when I came over that I wasn't drinking anymore. So the alcohol would be put away, so to speak, or they wouldn't offer it. It's about support, and I got it. And I had a lot of support around me, the right people around me to make it easier, because I'll be honest, it was probably easily the hardest decision I've ever made and thing to stick to, because the triggers are very real too. And when they talk about triggers are a very real thing. And to this day, I'm 3 years sober, and the worst nightmares I get them at least once a month, where I'll actually dream of I'm partying again, and I'm at a party scene and I'm indulging and having a bunch of beers, and you wake up and you're just absolutely destroyed, depressed. that happens to me still to this day, at least once a month. And those are the things that that's real, that you go through. I'd be lying if I sat here and didn't tell you the negative parts about being sober too, because the struggle never goes away. But the best decision of my life was when I decided to become sober, because it was better days ahead than as opposed to always relying on your alcohol every day. My sobriety path is very much involving my son. My son is my world. He gives me responsibility. He gives me the purpose, and sometimes we need that in life, and I will not bring alcohol around my son. I won't be that father that has to stop at the vendor and get a case of beer before I go home, or playing catch in the backyard with him with the beer in my other hand. Like, I don't want to be that father. One of the biggest things I was always told from my mentor, again, Big Daddy Tazz, he always told me was, don't worry so much about what your son's going to grow up to be. Worry about what he's going to grow up to be like. And I do a lot for myself, obviously, for your mental health, you got to look out for yourself. But I do this now more so for my son, because, it's I have a 2-year-old boy, and it means more than ever for me that he grows up and he's proud of his father. I'm a sober father, I'm helping the community. And that's the kind of stuff that I want my son to be very proud of his father for. The most important thing is to remember where you were before you got into that hole, right? So before I was depressed, I like to do events. I like to bring people together. And I knew that in my head, that I liked to do that. I liked to bring people together and enjoy happiness. I liked to do things for people that were struggling. I liked to be able to be that guy that lifted that family up and gave that family an extra $500 because we sold some t-shirts for them. I like to be that guy. So, I took that as a initiative upon myself that, I'm going to take this sadness and take this feeling and switch it, because, I go back to, unfortunately, only you can make that call, right? You can walk around angry, you can walk around sad all the time, but only you can make those positive steps forward to changing that lifestyle. And I knew what made me happy before I was in that state. I knew, even though I was sad and angry and upset with the world, that's not how I was. And I needed to find a way to get back to that. I reached out to Big Daddy Tazz, who I had previously seen about 5 years before that, at a comedy show at the Victoria Inn that he was doing. And I remember seeing him and Big Daddy Tazz on the Comedy Network doing all kinds of stuff for mental health and stuff. And I thought, man, this guy looks funny. And then I seen him at the Victoria Inn, and same thing. I thought, man, this guy is a funny cat. And, and when I was going through those struggles, I literally just finally thought to myself, I'm going to take a shot at it. I literally said to myself, I would love to do a comedy show. Like, I think that would be cool. And I love the feeling of being in the crowd and laughing, and enjoying myself. And I wanted to be a person that could bring that to more people. It'd be cool to work with a guy like Tazz. And pull up my phone, and I looked up Big Daddy Tazz, and I gave him a call and told him my situation. And I didn't even realize that his phone on his website actually will take you right to him. And I had a good conversation with him, and we planned an awesome event, and we did it. And the rest is history. When me and Tazz did that first show back in 2014, we always kept in touch via text, but we never did another show, I guess, again, until it was 2018, when I received a very random text from him, and it said, I want to do a comedy show in Brandon, and I want you to be a part of it. I want you to lead it and take over to get it going in Brandon, spearhead it. And I was just floored. I thought, wow, what an opportunity. And before long, we had a conversation going on with me and him and a couple other guys, and we had the first annual Big Daddy Tazz and Friends comedy show officially planned for Brandon. And we none of us knew how well it was going to go over. We all thought, well, let's try it out. Brandon does not do this kind of stuff very often, and we thought, let's try it out. Let's see if we can make a whirl of this. Tazz does this kind of stuff in Winnipeg all the time, and we did one in Brandon, and exceeded everybody's expectations. It was an unbelievable night, and it was that night that we both realized that, this is something that we can do, every year. And I didn't even realize until Tazzy went on stage that night and he told everybody in front of the whole crowd that, he wanted to start a promotions company with me, and we wanted to do this more often, and he wanted me to lead the company. And and it was right then after that we discussed that I was going to start up my own company, which was going to be called the Pandolfi Initiative. The name came from local realtor Tyson Tame of Royal LePage, and he was the guy that came up with the name of the Pandolfi Initiative, and discussed it over with Tazz, and we went with it. Yeah, we got a logo design, got a name design, got it all solidified, and away we went. And so from there, we started to do more events. We started to plan more shows and benefit more charities. It was fun, and it was a great opportunity and a learning curve for me. I had the best mentor a guy could ever ask for. I had a guy that was gonna, show me the ropes of comedy life and entertainment life. And the Pandolfi Initiative, I guess you could say, was formed, and we got that one off the ground. And, we just wanted to give back. So we did more and more shows as we went along and to help the community.
Hey everybody, it's Tazzy. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you a little bit about one of my favorite people in the world, Ryan Pandolfi. Many years ago, it feels like a million years ago because I feel like we've been friends forever. He called me and said, hey, we want to do this charity event. And I said, yeah, for sure, let's do it. And he put on a charity event that kind of blew me away. And that was our start of our friendship and our working together. And he's done so much for the mental health, not only of others, but for my mental health as well. I know that if I need something, I can just give him a quick call and we can talk, and he knows that I've got his back as well. I don't think I've met anybody as passionate for a community as Ryan. I think he's a solid guy, and I treat him like my little brother, and often have advice he doesn't want to always hear, but I know that he takes to heart. So I just wanted to take a quick minute to say I'm proud of you, brother. You've gotten your health, you're kicking it with your health, that's for sure. You've become clean and sober, which is awesome, because Logie's going to look up to you and love you even more than he could ever love anybody else too. You've got such a great little child there, and you should be proud of yourself. It takes great strength of character to change behaviors, especially ones when it comes to drinking and things like that, because you know what? We often drink because it makes us feel good, and we have to find something to replace that. And I think you've found that you've replaced it with a sense of purpose. Your community is lucky to have you in it. Your family is blessed to have you there, and I love you so much, and I'm so glad you're my brother, because dude, you're just an awesome fella. So lots of love, pal, and I'll talk to you later. I think I got everything you wanted me to. You wrote it down for me, so I hope I got everything that you wanted me to say. I'm joking.
All the events that we've, Taz and I have done over the years, and we've seen probably 5,000 people attend, and it goes from hilarious entertainers, guys like Rob Pugh and James Mullinger and Nelson Mayer and Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall, and and then the list can get even deeper when you talk about Hockey Hall of Famer Jana Hefford, who's come out and spoken, and Kevin Rempel, who was a sledge hockey Olympian, Greg Morton, who was a semifinalist on America's Got Talent about a month after he was in Brandon. It's the opportunities that I've been given by Taz and everything to support the mental health has been phenomenal, and I would not change anything for the world. So as we all know, this 2020 has been one hell of a year, and we haven't been able to do any shows. But in August, we were fortunate enough where the restrictions lifted good enough that we were able to do an outdoor event. And we did an outdoor event where we had two separate shows of 50 people capacity. And leading up to that, I've been going through a lot and was very, very, very stressed out with life. And, I was laid off from work and going through some personal stuff with family. And I did not want Big Daddy Tazz to notice how I was feeling and how I looked. I lost 25 pounds leading up to that day, and on August 2nd of the day of the event, I weighed between 108 and 112 pounds. And so when I got to the event that day, he gave me a big hug, and he stands back and he immediately says, you lost a lot of weight, bud, and you need to take care of that. And that was hard for me to hear. You don't want to hear that you've disappointed the people that you love, and that was a big reality for me, as I knew it was going to upset him, it was going to bother him that I looked like that. It was bad. For him to tell me that it was a big wake-up call, and within a week I was back in the gym, trying to get myself back together, and I was able to gain back the 25 plus pounds and get my health back. And that was a big piece for my mental health stability and keeping sober again, everything. And so I took that to heart that day when Tazzy pulled me aside and told me that I lost a lot of weight and that he could tell. And I used gyms as another outlet to help my health and to help my well-being. I joined the gym for 2 reasons. I was struggling with my health, and my sobriety journey needed to stay on path. So my mental health was all over the place, and my physical health was all over the place. So I went to the gym to get that under control. And when the gyms closed down in November, I was lost. I mean, you don't know where to go, and that's a big concern for me. So we use these gyms as an outlet to help our physical health and our mental health, as well as our sobriety. And this is just one person, and I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not. I know there's people that are watching this video that said, they go to gyms because it helps their mental health, or they struggle with addictions, so they go to gyms to help them with those recovery process. And I was that person too, and I am still that person that uses the gym. So my biggest concern was when those gyms got shut down was, what are we going to do to help these people, and what about these people? Unfortunately, that point was missed, and it was a concern of mine that was very real. One of the most powerful things that Tazzy's always told me is that you will never fully know the impact that you're actually having on the people. And that's so true, is, these events help so many people.
So the event that we attended was the Dream to Inspire with the juggler Robin and the magician Patrick, and it meant the world to us. We got a chance to get out of the house that night and have a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, hey? Yeah, it was so much fun. Thanks, Ryan.
Hi there, my name's Stefan. I met Ryan in 2016. I watched, Ryan start the Pandolfi Initiative from day one. I have volunteered at 3 of his comedy shows. Ryan's doing an amazing thing for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. It's really personal for me as well, because in 2019 I had 2 people who were quite close to me commit suicide. With everything that's going on right now in the world, lockdowns and restrictions and stuff, it's really tough on mental health. Pandolfi Initiative, you have my full respect. Ryan, you have my full respect. And thank you for everything you've done.
And although we await the opportunity to support the awareness through laughter, we can't wait for the day to come again.
Some beat up books, coffee cups, and coat hooks that haven't been used in a while. A phone, no calls, pictures still